Hello, we're Group 1. For our project, we aim to make a synchronized pin toy, like the one here. Essentially, our final product, our ideal final product would be if you made an imprint here, an identical device somewhere separated by a large amount of distance would also have these identical pins moved up. The key component of our synchronized pin toy would be naturally to get the pins to move. To do this, we used electromagnets and permanent magnets. The permanent magnets are attached to the bottom of the pins, and the electromagnetic is set in a board beneath the pins. The polarity of the magnets facing each other are the same in order to get them to repel each other, as you can see.
For our synchronized pin toy, we chose to use a Raspberry Pi 2 as the main center of our control system. We have two main control systems broken down into the sensory part and also the solenoid control part, which we've separated into two separate pin toys here to demonstrate how they work. So from the Raspberry Pi, it outputs a 3-bit binary address, so like a 010 or a 001. That travels into this chip over here, which is a demultiplexer. So that breaks down the address from the Raspberry Pi into a corresponding 0 to 7 pin. They come back through an OR gate and are then read by the Raspberry Pi. Now what happens is if the Raspberry Pi is outputting an address of this pin while I'm pressing it down, the voltage through the OR gate will be high and the Raspberry Pi will read it. So it will know that when it's outputting this address and I'm pushing this pin, that pin is being pressed. The solenoid section is controlled by a similar demultiplexer, except this time they're actually latched. So what happens is when the Raspberry Pi outputs the 3-bit address, it will also tell this chip if the solenoid should be high or low, or on or off, and it'll lock it to that position. Demultiplexer outputs the signal through a bunch of MOSFETs, one for each pin. The reason being that the power from the solenoids was too high to be powered straight off the Raspberry Pi. So making up the full pin toy is the sensory component and the solenoid component, and as it runs through the program, as I press one of these pins, the pin on the corresponding board should move, which it does.